Israel recently banned 37 NGOs from operating in Gaza and other occupied territories. In Deir al-Balah in central Gaza is Shurouq, the multimedia manager for Save the Children in Gaza. Shurouq, thank you so much for your time. Thankfully for the children of Gaza, your organization is still able to operate. Tell us about the work you're doing.
First of all, thank you for having me. We as Save the Children, a very big organization. We are concentrating on helping the children, especially the vulnerable families of those children, and we are serving in the occupied territories in Palestine for for decades. And the last time that we had aid trucks entering for us as Save the Children was in March the past year, and nothing has been entering at that moment till now. And we are here relying actually on the partners and the let me say the local procurement as well to serve the children despite the limitations of the aid entering Gaza Strip. We are trying our best to handle the situation here on the ground and reach as much vulnerable families and the children who are in desperate need for any support.
Yes, I mean, we know that they need psychosocial support. We know that that their families also are struggling to feed their own children. Are you able to get doctors to the children? Are you able to provide them and their families with food? Or do you operate within the restrictions that exist in Gaza at the moment? In other words, almost all hospitals not able to provide full services and nobody having enough to eat.
Well, in general, actually, we are operating with a minimum available here in Gaza in terms of supplies and aid, actually. And despite such shortage, we and the staff here in Gaza are doing the best actually to reach those families and those children. We have several friendly spaces to support the children, to give them the time to touch base with their childhood that has been stolen from them for almost over 2 years, and with the very casual, simple activities actually, and the let me say what support that we are doing is still remains a drop of an ocean of the needs here, because we are talking about like over 1 million people are being displaced in makeshift tents, and what we are doing here on the ground is still needs to be more, like let me say, improved. This will not happen without more aid entering Gaza Strip, but in a very harsh conditions, our staff is still operating and protective and supporting the children with all of our efforts we are doing here.
Shurouq, when you talk to these children, what kind of language do they use to describe their lives? Have you noticed any kind of glimmer of hope, any kind of slightly more positive attitude since the ceasefire began?
Since the ceasefire actually began, I've heard from the children here while I'm doing the field visits. Some of them were talking. They actually recognize that once the ceasefire has been announced, the next day actually they will be returning to the decent life, to the human life that they used to have before the war. And they thought, because they are children and they don't really anticipate the catastrophic situation here in the ground. They thought, like some of them, they thought they are returning to schools that the majority of them that have been already destroyed, whether partially or totally destroyed, and what remained of those schools are tend to be shelters for displaced people. So those children are now waiting for their casual routine to wake up in the morning, to go for their schools, for their education, not to wake up in the morning to chase the water distribution tracks and to look for food to support their families. So yes, after the announcement of the ceasefire, like all of us here, we were able to touch the sense of hope, like flying in air. But what is happening on the ground is way different. It's way devastating, as we still, it feels we are in the middle with half war, half peace.
Shurouq from Save the Children, thank you so much indeed. It's been very, very important for us to hear about your work in Gaza. Thank you.